Warriors rise! Coming to you live from San Diego, California as we travel around with our freedom lifestyle. My name is Coach JV. I am the top health, mindset, and crypto coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, what we're going to do is hopefully the internet is working well. We're traveling around. I'll be back at home base on Saturday for quite a while until I travel to Tulum coming up very, very quickly. So I want to share with you guys the broad paintbrush, right? So a lot of people are getting caught up in the macro, the stress of cryptocurrency, but I'm here to show you that our world is going through a massive shift. I've showed you things like the Ray Dalio, right? We're in the third economic cycle, which is war. I've showed you what's happening with the narrative of cyber attacks. And now I'm going to take you into the narrative of economics. Now, one thing I highly recommend is you click right here and you join my crypto team. That is my actual crypto team that you get access to in the Warrior Academy at 3twarrior.com. If you visit this website, you can see exactly what our Warrior Academy is about. That's my actual crypto team. I have 13 people who work on my team worldwide where we support you in the quantum financial system. You actually can see the exact plan that I use to get my shit together in one of the worst economic times in the world. All right, so let's go ahead and get this kicked off. So I'm using my makeshift studio here. So hopefully the audio is doing well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full screen layout, pull myself off a video so the audio does a little bit better as we roll through this. Okay, so let me take you guys right into this. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is I'm here to educate and bring you from a 30,000 foot overview, from a micro to a 30,000 foot overview. Okay. So what I'm here to do is make the complex simple. I always tell you, don't trust a word I say, just trust the feeling and vibration it creates in your body and act accordingly. That's all I'm asking you to do. Okay. So, but I am someone who's practicing what I preach. I'm sitting here. My son's doing Legos right here. We just got back from Legoland. I'm traveling around the world, living a freedom lifestyle because I walked out of corporate America 4 years ago and I made a commitment to become free. I've done the complete opposite of everything, opposite of the banking system. Started investing in a speculative asset called crypto. Was very, very diligent with my crypto. Have an awesome exit strategy that's in the Warrior Academy that I follow to the T. I sell when it goes up and I buy the dip and I don't trip. I hold long term, and I also figured out how to make the complex simple. And I've built companies, and I have equity in 9 companies now. 3 are producing income over $1 million, well over $1 million now. And I've done this by not listening to what people are doing in the sheep world, but doing the opposite and watching what the billionaires are doing, not what they're saying. So, like I said, my insurance product, right? That's in the academy. We have a little section on that showing you how I leverage insurance. I already recouped, and I will retire with just as much as I did when I was an executive. Warriors, we have been programmed to be poor, literally. So I'm going to show you what they're doing with the US dollar. Okay. So let's first talk about how the US dollar became the world's reserve currency. So we're just going to talk about the key takeaways. This is on Investopia, as if I'm saying that right, Investopia. So the first key takeaway is the US dollar was printed in 1914 after the Federal Reserve Bank was created. Okay. Key is the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay. So if we go over to the Allies paid the US for supplies in gold during World War I, propelling the U.S. to become the largest holder of gold. Now, this is a key factor to put into your thinking cap. Gold, 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 gold. Think about that for just a moment. I want you to think about what's going to happen from 1971 to where we stand now. This stuff has been planned out for a very long time, and I'm going to give you my perspective. You can take your own perspective, but I'm going to share with you exactly what I think is happening. I think this is what's happening. The countries pegged their currencies to the dollar after the war ended the gold standard. Okay, the International Monetary Fund reported 59% of all foreign banks' reserves are dominated in U.S. dollars. Okay, so everybody's controlled by the U.S. Now we know the U.S. is a corporation. It is not a country. The president is the CEO of a corporation that is owned by other people. You just have to do your research. Despite the position in the global markets, the US isn't the strongest world currency. It's ranked 10th on the list. If it's not the strongest currency, then why is it the dominant currency that controls everything? Because this is all by design. There's a whole system operating this behind the scenes, and you're just a player in the game. You're just a pawn, and you're just over broke, moving through the system that's been created for you, been indoctrinated for you, so you don't become creative. Why do you think people come from China and Japan, and they are taught to be entrepreneurs and come here and start companies that you work for to get your paycheck to just survive, warriors? It's all by design. Okay, so here's some lessons from the collapse of the Bretton Woods. Now, the Bretton Woods standard is our gold standard, okay? So one of the landmark developments influencing financial markets in the post-war era 50 years ago was when the international monetary system shifted from a fixed to floating exchange rate regime. The demise of the Bretton Woods system of the fixed exchange rate was a milestone event that marked the end, that marked the end of prolonged period of low inflation, strong economic growth, and financial stability. Let me read that sentence again. The demise of the Bretton Woods system, okay, the falling apart of it, of a fixed exchange rate, which is a milestone event that marked the end of prolonged period of low inflation. What are we experiencing right now? Super high inflation. Strong economic growth. What are we experiencing right now? A collapse in our economic system and financial stability. And what we're experiencing right now in our living human history is fucked up, messed up financial stability. Excuse my language, but you got to get pissed about this stuff and you got to get ready to activate, warriors. Okay. So now when Nixon, it's almost like, I'm just going to say this out loud. Okay. It's almost like Nixon was put into presidency to detach us from the gold standard. And I'm not talking left or right, but our president now is doing some crazy shit. You're the one paying the gas prices. You have your opinion. I'm not telling you left or right. I'm just telling you we're going through some crazy shit right now. And I think most of you listeners can agree with that. When Nixon startled the world by announcing the decision on August 15th, 1971, set in motion a series of events that led to the breakdown of the Bretton Woods standards. So since 1971, here's what's happened to your dollar. The US dollar has lost 86% of its value since 1971. This was updated on March 10th, 2022. So now as you sit, I'm going to keep saying this, and you're just over broke, your job, your dollar since 1971, why would they detach from the gold standard if they knew it was going to do this? Because since 1971, they put Nixon in presidency to do this. He was a talking head to do this, to move us into this new monetary system that we're experiencing now. Believe it or not, warriors, that's how long they plan this stuff. You can believe me or not, but they've been planning this stuff. Problem, reaction, solution. They knew at some point that we're going to need to go into a new monetary system. So what they did is they turned the printing machine on and they got really, really, really wealthy, especially the last 24 months, warriors. 24, God, we're going to be coming up on 3 years really soon. So think about that. US dollar has lost 86% of its value since 1971. Let me ask you a question. How much has your productivity gone up as a human being? Massively. Has your pay gone up that much? Absolutely not. Okay. So now inflation and record gas prices will hit Americans' paychecks hard. Okay. So now since 1971, they detached from the gold standard. Okay. Losing 86% of its value. As you sit today, in March 2022, you're literally getting a pay cut every single day you sit there. But warriors, wait a minute. There's been a narrative going on that you're not paying attention to because the C word, and you're looking this way, and now you have the war word, and now you're looking this way. But there's been a narrative going on for a while, warriors, that you're not paying attention to called Basel III. And who broke that to you last year? Me and my research team. We brought this to you about Basel III, but it wasn't exciting. It wasn't XRP to 589. It wasn't Bitcoin to 100,000. Those are all the people you were following and getting excited about. We were telling you about Basel III. We told you something was coming, warriors, and this is awesome. So check this website out. It's pretty cool. It's Monetary Gold. I know they're probably trying to sell gold or something, but you actually have some really cool charts on here, and I want to give them respect for it. Has a phone number too, but I use IMT, Lynette Zhang. I love them. They're in Phoenix. But anyways, so it says gold reserve currencies have historically lasted in cycles of 100 years, as seen in the currency chart to the right. Fiat currencies have historically record an average lifespan of 27 years. The U.S. has been serving as a gold reserve currency for 90 years, 40 of which fiat currencies and global currencies. Okay, so we are at a point where not only are we screwed, but number two, warriors, is the currency has ran its course. It's literally ran its course. But as you're sitting there trying to survive, there's been a narrative going on that you're not paying attention to. So Bank of Russia resumes gold mine after 2-year pause. Okay. This was reported on February 27, 2022. The central bank was previously the biggest sovereign buyer. They're massive. Okay. I think they're number 5 and China's number 6 and America's in the top 5, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But Russia has over 2,000 tons of gold in reserves. The IMF. Okay. On February 27, 2022, this was reported. The Bank of Russia said it will start purchasing gold again just under 2 years after it ended a long-running buying spree. okay, that helped prop up the bullion prices last decade. The central bank will begin buying gold again on the domestic precious metals market. It said a statement. The move comes after the monetary authority had several of the country's commercial banks were sanctioned in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. They're moving us back to a gold standard. I think it's going to be a cryptocurrency type of way, but the gold, this is just sharing you. Elon Musk said, get them assets, baby. Get into the gold, get into the silver, buy some houses, get some cryptocurrency, get the hell away from this US dollar, get the hell away from fiat currency because it has no value, okay? What is China doing since 2019? Interesting. 2019, World Economic Forum does a cyber pandemic practice. 2020, all of a sudden, we're in the worst economic collapse in history and a pandemic, and boom, look at their gold reserves in 2019. Boom, they shoot up and they stayed up. So their gold reserves went up. But let's talk about Basel III. We broke this to you last year. I think it was in 2021. We started talking about the new rules for banks. So previously, banks could hold on. This is really important. This is boring stuff, but this will help you make informed decisions. Okay, on their balance sheets in the form of unallocated paper gold contracts without holding physical gold. So they could have a paper contract in order to have riskier assets. Just to make the complex simple, I'm an ex-banker. Basically, in order to have riskier assets, all of a sudden, banks in America have to have physical gold on reserve to have riskier assets. Again, changing the business banking model, squeezing their profit margin, okay? Banks have to get involved in distributed ledger technology, warriors, in liquidity. If they don't, they will not survive. They have to have physical gold on requirement, okay? Why is Basel III regulations are poised to shake up the gold market? This is in 2021. Nobody's paying attention to this because we're all focused on a pandemic, right? European banks faces beefed up liquidity requirements under the net stable funding ratio on Monday. Same thing America's going through. They have to beef up their tangible physical gold. Okay, Russia pumped up their gold. China skyrocketed their gold. America is going back to Basel III is all about having gold on reserves. Why are they stacking up the gold? Think about that. Why are they stacking up gold, warriors? What's coming? What's coming? A collapse of the US dollar? If the paper currency collapses, what do they got? They're sitting on assets, baby, and they can convert those assets into some sort of money or monetary system or in the new monetary system and flip it into a cryptocurrency way. Now let's listen to this. This is an old video. This is from Judy Shelton. I hope this plays, but at least you guys got a lot of great content. So I'm traveling, so we'll see how the internet does here. But listen to what Judy Shelton says back in 2020.
Returning to a gold standard help the U.S. economy? Can you talk a little about your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say I don't see it so much as returning, but more of a back to the future.
Okay.
I think that what a gold standard stands for is monetary discipline for its own sake. That is, if money is supposed to be a unit of account and a reliable measure and a dependable store of value, it really shouldn't be subject to who's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And I think that money needs to be stable and provide the foundation for productive economic growth. And when money is just a variable that financial markets toss around, or it's part of a derivatives formula, or it's part of someone speculating on currencies, it's not serving the private sector in the sense of providing that reliable unit of account so you can make plans. And under a gold standard, you did have that stability, and I think that's what's missing. And so I like the idea of a gold standard. I mean, it could be used in a very cryptocurrency way. The point is, do you have a unified money system so that when you talk about the international marketplace, everyone is playing on a level monetary playing field? And it's very important to have a rules-based approach. And that's why I'm advocating that we need to look at the virtues of a gold standard.
Okay, so gold standard in a cryptocurrency type of way. We know Judy Shelton. We know she didn't. I don't think she got her spot, man. I think we're all fighting for that. But we can see the narrative that's coming, right? Now let's listen to this. This was at Ripple Swell. I believe this was at the Swell conference, okay? And this is this gentleman talking about, he's not the greatest speaker, but we're going to listen to him talking about XRP and the liquidity. Okay, now what's really important for banks right now is liquidity, and then I'll let you guys go so you can really digest all this information. Now, again, if you made it this far, you're a true warrior. I truly, from my heart, hope that the audio is going well. I'll be back in home base in our we're actually opening up a new studio too. We got our new corporate office, but I am going to be traveling around the world, warriors. So I'm practicing what I preach. So listen to what he says and think about the stuff I just shared with you guys. How liquidity is being squeezed. Why are they going out there and getting the physical gold, warriors? Why are they doing it? Why aren't they encouraging you to do it?
Why? Crypto liquidity is not a new concept, and I would argue it's the backbone for every company in crypto. Liquidity is the premise of crypto. Without liquidity, the process of exchanging value is slow, expensive, and inefficient. And pre-2017, crypto liquidity was limited to a handful of exchanges around the world with only a few $1 million in daily traded volume across all assets. That's dramatically changed in the past few years as crypto has taken off, allowing for net new products and use cases. Since Ripple's inception, we have understood the potential of crypto to transform the global financial system, from changing the way money moves across the globe through near instant payment settlement to the way we borrow and loan money through DeFi platforms. We firmly believe and have built this with RippleNet in mind. Ripple was an early pioneer in this space, leveraging XRPL, a blockchain designed specifically for payments, to tokenize fiat currencies in order to address the trillion-dollar challenges in cross-border payments for hundreds of our customers globally. As the industry has continued to mature and evolve, we've evolved our products as well. For example, last year, we expanded RippleNet from a cross-border payments network to a platform providing tokenized services that will bring crypto capabilities to the enterprise and prepare them for a future where crypto is front and center. As part of that, we started introducing new offerings in the lending space with line of credit, which allows financial institutions to use XRP to complete instant, low-cost cross-border transfers and pay it back at a later date. We also started addressing new use cases like treasury payments and SME payments in addition to global remittances.
Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. His presenting skills are just as bad as my internet, but no offense there, brother. But okay, so I'm bringing myself back on the screen. All right, warriors. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys a lot. I'm just a real genuine dude, man. I just gave myself praise. I am a genuine dude. I'm just somebody who literally is being myself. That's who I am. I left corporate America 4 years ago, 12 years in banking to become a freedom warrior, lost all my money. And through that process, I found myself. And when I lost my money for the third time, I finally stopped following all the assholes looking this way and all the people I was taking advice from that weren't really doing shit with their life. And I started to watch what the billionaires were doing. And I started to model what they were doing. And I started to get free here. And I started to get free here. And I started to actually live the freedom lifestyle. And now that's what I do, warriors. I'm traveling around the world doing exactly what I want, living as this is my playground. And you can do the same things. And this is the best time in human history, warriors. So I hope that my message reaches you well, that it's coming from an attitude of gratitude, from a love in my heart, from you, from me to you, to another human being, and letting you know that this is possible for you as well, warriors. So if you would like to join our private warrior academy, I'll put it right up here one more time, 3twarrior.com. It's no bullshit, warriors. You come in for 7 days, you're like, this is the worst thing ever. We'll give you 100% of your money back. We're not going to play money with your games with your money, warriors. But I appreciate you. I love you. I appreciate you allowing me to be me as I allow you to be you in the comments, even though in the people that talk shit, I love you as well. So appreciate you guys. We're going to get back to the pool and have some great time. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.